Hello. I know I said I was going to do books, and I will, I promise. But this is why I'm like this. I just got back from the gym and I'm just about to hop in the shower, and I just recorded 1 or 2 short videos for my Instagram, and I thought I'll do a longer one here because it might be of use to somebody. Because going back to the whole purpose of recording all of these videos was to see if I could possibly help somebody. So the books I need to take a little bit more time over because they're in different places, and some I don't think I have anymore because I shared them. I gave them to other people, so I need to construct a list, and I need to go through all of my old Instagram under my personal name and find them all, and so that I can do it justice, which I will. So this is about, if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And it took me a cancer diagnosis to realise this. And now I'm making decisions which some people might say I'm cutting off my nose to spite my face by putting my health as my priority. And I'll give you sort of an example, and it ties into mindset as well, and why mindset is important to me. So as you know, my current job contracting comes to an end in now 3 weeks. And I don't have anything lined up yet, and I'm working really hard in the background to make that happen. I've just this minute refreshed my CV on all the job boards. But on Friday, today's Sunday, so Friday, 2 days ago, I had 2 interviews. One was an introductory sort of interview with 2 people, and one was an informal chat because my CV had been shared internally. So people have been very kind. I sort of did the, open to work on LinkedIn. And the reason this is important is, so the first one was in a building that I'd worked in a long time ago. And I didn't really have a great experience for 2 reasons. One was I worked for somebody who, I don't like saying it, I don't like saying not a nice person, because I'm sure she was. Everybody has something to bring to the table. But she wasn't my people. And she wasn't particularly nice to me. And my peer got on very well with her, and therefore the 2 of them were collectively not very nice to me, until somebody else came along. So the last 6 months of that project was very nice, but it was in a building which was not really very nice. It was sort of old-fashioned strip lighting. We were packed into a room with no windows, so no fresh air. It got very hot and stuffy, and we were all sort of cramped in. It was horrible. We all sat with our backs to each other. It was just not conducive. The food in the restaurant was not very nice. There was an on-site gym though, and the commute there and back was very stressful. It was only about 5 miles, I think, but sometimes it could take me an hour to get home. It's very, very stressful, busy city centre traffic. So even putting that aside, I should have said no straight away about having my CV shared, but I panicked and thought, oh, I need a job. Because this is the point 1, is we know, don't we? We know instinctively if something's right for us. We're not trained or taught as children on how to tune into our intuition, higher self, inner knowing, inner navigation system, whatever your belief system is. But I truly believe we all have it. And rather than seeking outside counsel, if we can just learn to quiet the mind and tune in, our mind and body will tell us if something is right for us. That's what I believe anyway. And this is an ongoing sort of development for me of something I'm sorry, water. Trying to get better at, to quiet my mind and go in and listen. I didn't really need to do very much of that on Friday with this first job because my body was screaming at me. Dread. That's all I felt. Dread. Even the thought of going to work back in that building, in the commute, my whole body was tensing. And it's a shame because I got onto the call and the guy I talked with was lovely. We really hit it off. I really liked him. But I thought, I can't work in that building, and it would have probably been a lovely job, but they were very hard about, it's a hybrid role and it's 50% of your time has to be on site, and that's therefore 3 days 1 week, 2 days the other, non-negotiable. I thought, I can't, no. And secondly, the second interview was just too difficult for me. That's all I can say. When they were talking about the deliverables and what would be involved, it just became very clear. The cells in my body were just, I could feel my body tensing, because this was not interview nerves. This was not me being lacking in confidence. This was just, this will be a very stressful job. It will push me very far outside of my comfort zone, not just a little bit where I'm learning new skills, but it will push me much, much further out of my comfort zone, where I will be stressed. I will feel anxiety. I will feel stress. I'm in a place in my life I don't want that. Some people would be hungry for that. They'd love it. And I thought, no. So I'm going to turn those two roles down, because I listened to my intuition. Well, sorry, I haven't even necessarily offered, but I'm going to, well, sorry, one of them, as they've said, we'd like you to go to sort of like the next stage. The other one's going to come back to me. So I don't mean to be presumptuous. Now, I don't have, 3 years ago, I'd have panicked and gone, oh, I've got to take one of these, because I don't have any more. I would have gone, I need to take one. I'm not willing to compromise what my instincts are telling me, which is one of them is going to be far too stressful. It's beyond my skills and experience, beyond my capabilities. And the other one will be in such an atmosphere of a physical environment that I'll find really stressful on my system. So I'm going to say no. But my second point is, this is something that I've worked very hard on since the breast cancer diagnosis, is I'm very discerning, very intentional about my environment, and part of that is my physical environment. Now, I'm very lucky that I work from home, and COVID kind of the pandemic delivered that to me, being locked down, and my current role is a remote one. But that means I get my temperature, no aircon. I get big windows that let a lot of light in that I can open. I can get fresh air. I get a working day that suits me, because I wake up at my normal time if I was commuting, but I do meditation, I do some yoga. So when I start my working day, I'm relaxed, I'm calm, I'm more productive. So this isn't about skiving or wanting to do less, quite the opposite. Conversely, for me, working from home, and I accept I'm very lucky, I am very productive and very calm. I find working in open plan offices with other people very stressful. I find it very anxiety provoking. I got distracted. When I was in an office, I'd always feel anxious. Now I know why, because sitting with other people, it'd be like I'd be soaking up their energies and the noise, and I'd have to go and sit in a meeting room just to do some of my work. Whereas working from home, I just feel calmer. I've got access to local produce, home cooked food, nourishing food. I've got my desk set up for me, for my height, for my arm length, for my eyes. Not sitting at a hot desk that someone else is sat at, where it's not even the desk's too high for me, or the chair's dirty. I've sat when I've hot desked at keyboards that were filthy. I'd have to carry around antibacterial wipes, which are no good for us anyway. But you get my point. Now, I know I'm sounding like a prima donna, and I know a lot of people don't have the luxury of working from home, but my choice was to have an office job, and I'm actively seeking remote jobs. So I'm going to say no to those two. I got offered because it's important for me, for my health, for my vitality, for my peace of mind, for my nervous system, for my well-being, to work from home, or to be in an office once a week, with some flexibility on that, because I'm putting my health first, and I'm putting that out there into the universe, that my health is my priority. Because if I don't have that, because I very nearly had it taken away from me, I have nothing. So yeah, I'm manifesting. Some people might think I'm absolutely nuts and go, you're turning down two really good opportunities. One would be probably a great development opportunity. But no, because my priority is my health. And yeah, you might think I'm nuts, but I think we can manifest it, because my vibration for my health is high, and that's what I'm maintaining. So I know that the perfect remote job is waiting for me. It's in my timeline and it's there, and it will just appear at the right time. And that's it. And I will do books next time, but this was just a mindset thing of don't compromise on your health. If you can, don't, because if you don't have it, if you don't have your health, you can't work anyway. And why do we have to be in an office? Why does everybody insist that we have to be in an office? Is it a case of keeping an eye on people? I get it, if part of your work, if that's what you want, if you thrive on that and it makes you feel good, and I get it for workshops and some collaboration, but to do actually physically sit and do my job, I don't need to be a bum on a seat. That's my point. I'm going to stop moaning now.